Hey guys, what's going on? It is Dan Lags, and welcome back to another video here on the Minecraft Better Together update here on Xbox One. And guys, today I'm going to be covering the world edit commands that have been added to the game. And yeah, this actually isn't clickbait. It probably sounds like it, but there is some form of world edit currently on console Minecraft, which honestly, even just saying that just makes me really happy. So let's cover it today. I'll give you guys a general idea of how the world edit commands work on console. Just keep in mind before we start, they are quite tedious and definitely not as seamless and easy to use as they are on PC. But hey, it's better than nothing. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm here on my fantasy village world. One thing I want to note real quick before we started though, I made a mistake in my review video, I guess, of the Better Together update about the render distance. Turns out that the render distance on Realms is actually lower than regular worlds. So I'm actually just on a single player world right now, and as you can see, the render distance is actually pretty impressive. You know, you can see these mountains from like all the way back over here, which is definitely further than Xbox One edition. I just didn't realize when I was making the video that Realms render distance was lower than a regular world, but I guess that makes sense because it's a little bit more intensive to run it. So just wanted to clear that up. So I made a little mistake in my video, but it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, let's go ahead and start covering world edit. Let's get into the point of this video. So I'm going to come out over here, out in front of the front wall of the build. So let's go ahead and cover how this stuff works. I don't know what the hell is going on right there. It's like freaking... This game is really glitchy. I'm sure everybody who's played it realizes this. It definitely doesn't run super smooth. I would love to see them cap off the FPS. It really plummets sometimes when you're flying quickly. So we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to complain too much about that stuff today. Let's actually start to cover world edit though. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how the commands work, which commands are in the game currently. I would like to see more added. But if you go ahead and do right on the D-pad, it opens up your chat and commands area. So you can just write in the chat normally like I showed on last video, but you can also do commands in here as well. So if you type in slash, you click the slash button, it'll let you set your world spawn, it'll let you teleport to a player, things like that. You can set the time and things like that, and of course the weather. So that's cool, and all those are kind of just like basic commands. If you want to do world edit, you actually have to go into your chat bar and type in a slash, and it'll start to give you a bunch of different commands that you could put in. So some of the ones listed there, you know, slash kill, slash give, slash help, those are all useful commands that you can use. What I'm going to be showing you guys is slash fill. I'm going to be showing you guys slash clone and slash set blocks. So we're going to start off with slash clone. So I think that's probably one of the best ones. Before we do this, actually, let's go ahead and set some coordinates. So one of the key things you have to know about this update in terms of how the world edit works, you have to know that you have to set your coordinates before you start typing any of the commands. So there is no wand like there is on PC where you can just set position 1 and set position 2. You actually have to manually plug in those positions into your consoles. So let's go ahead and set some positions here. We're going to go ahead and take position 194, 64, negative 140. And we'll just go ahead and place a block right here. We'll just start off with like a 2x2 of cobblestone. Our second position is going to be 194, 65, negative 139. So we'll make sure we mark those. Those are two very important positions. You want to make sure that you're covering your whole entire space here. And maybe we'll make it even a little bit more interesting. I'll do it three-dimensional. So we'll do 2x2x2, and we'll cover this block instead, which is going to be 195, 65, negative 139. So you want to get your endpoints, and basically think about it almost as like position 1, position 2. So this bottom left is position 1, and the top right is position 2, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clone this a few blocks over. So we're going to take this cobblestone square, and we're going to take it, and we are going to place it somewhere else. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's start off by going back into our console here. Let's load up the chat bar, and we'll start off with our slash. And let's go ahead and do slash clone. So one of the nice things about this, even though it is very tedious, and personally I would like to see it improved a little bit, I would love to see them implement a way so we can set our positions instead of having to manually plug in the coordinates. Because not only do you have to do that, but you actually have to memorize the coordinates that you want to be used before you even start. So it is a little complicated at first, but it's not that hard to get used to once you kind of get the feel for it. So we have slash clone so far, and it kind of slowly walks you through the line of command that you need to run. So we have to start off with our beginning coordinates, which is basically our position 1. So that was the lower left of that cobblestone square. So we're going to start off with 194, which is our X, 64, which is our Y. Oh, what, 64, not 65. And then negative 140, which I wish they would take these emotes out. No one uses those. And negative 140, which is our Z coordinate. So now that is our first three, or our first, I guess, position on the map. So we can go ahead and spacebar, and now we can do the next set of coordinates. This is going to be our destination, or this is going to be our endpoint. So this is position 2 essentially. So we're going to do 195, 65, and then 139. And that's going to be our position 2. So now that we have that, the next thing you want to do is do your destination. So with your destination, you don't need to set 2 positions, because all it'll do is take your position 1 and paste it to wherever the position 2 ends. So it's basically the same as World Edit on that front. You don't really need to set a fourth position, I guess. So we'll set our third one, and we'll just do a few blocks over from where we were. So 194, 64, and we'll do neg 135. And that should work. And that'll copy and paste our stuff. So we have, basically when you're done with this, you want it to say /clone, and then you want your 9 numbers. That's your 3 coordinate sets. You don't have to worry about typing in like beginning dash or end dash or anything like that. That's just kind of telling you what you need to do. And then as far as these extra, IDs that you can add at the end, you have replace, masked, normal, force, move. If you just want to do a basic copy and paste, you don't have to worry about any of those things. I might cover those later, but for now we're just going to focus on the basics. So that's good. That'll work just fine right there. So we can go ahead and click enter and click X and run our command, and boom, there we go. So I think I might have messed up a position in my line. Let me actually take a look again and see if I might have messed up one. Let's take a look. So you can just go up on the D-pad to refill your thing. I probably just missed a spot here. Let's see. Yeah, I see what I did wrong. So I have to change this to 65. So I put 64 instead of 65. So yeah, again, like this is a good example right here. Like, it's very easy for you to screw up your coordinates, so try to make sure that you have them written down, so you know exactly like what coordinates you're going to need, because you can't really reference them from when you're writing the command. So that's something that is quite frustrating. All right, that'll work. So I just missed it by 1. So there we go. So now it copied it, and there we go. So we've cloned our 4 blocks. We cloned our cobblestone square. So it works. Like, you can do world edit commands. They're very tedious, but they do work. It's pretty cool. I mean, having something like World Edit on console is amazing. I never thought this would ever happen, so it's better than nothing. It definitely is not the smoothest thing in the world, but hey, I'll take it. I definitely wouldn't recommend using this for like everything. I know personally when I'm using World Edit on PC, I'm always using it. So even like the smallest walls, I'll fill in with World Edit using the wand. So definitely would only recommend using this for like larger stuff. Not like, don't use it like for everything, because then it honestly will just be faster just to fill it in by hand for certain sizes. So we have that covered. So now let's go ahead and do another command, and we'll do /fill. So let me go ahead and just get rid of this real quick, and we will do a /fill command now. So this is one of the other commands. So far I've only found 3 world edit commands. I don't really know how to scroll through them. So I don't really know how many there are exactly, and if you found any world edit commands that I don't cover in this video, feel free to write them in the comments. So far the only ones I know about are /fill, /clone, and /setblock. But honestly, fill and clone will do the trick for you most of the time. I would like to see something like /stack added in the future. That would be awesome, and maybe some other things like I don't know, a bunch of stuff. There's so many world edit stuffs on PC that we can utilize, but we have the basics here. So let's go ahead and do /fill. So for this, what you want to do is you want to set your positions, and it's basically the same as clone. You only have to set 2 marks of coordinates this time though, because there's no destination coordinates this time. So let's just go ahead and set the same coordinates again: 194, 64, and then negative 140. That'll be our position 1, and then we will set our position 2 to 195, 65, and then negative 139. So the best way to like get used to this and practice, I would recommend just opening up a super flat world, going to like right in the middle of the map and just finding like the 0, 0 coordinates. That way you don't have to worry about memorizing complicated numbers and stuff. But you know, over time you'll start to get more used to it. Again, I would just recommend making sure you write down your coordinates before you start writing in the command line, because if you forget, it's just going to be such a waste of time. Alright, so there we go. We have our 6 numbers there that we need, and then we want to add our block that we want to be placing. So let's just go with something simple that's up in the corner. Let's just go with bookshelf. So what this will do is it will replace, it actually won't even replace, it'll just fill the blocks there. So even though it's an empty space, we can do that, and then boom, there we go. We have our bookshelves placed. So 8 blocks were filled, and it'll show in the upper left corner how many blocks were modified. So there you go. You can use this for filling in big walls on a mansion or something like that, or you know, for example, it'd be really good for this situation right here where I have this huge cobblestone wall going straight down. So you can just get that filled in with world edit. So yeah, I would like to see something like /brush be added in the future so we could build mountains on console. That'd be cool. But as far as the basics are concerned, I'm thrilled to have something like this in the game. And I know it's very obvious that this is a very tedious process. Definitely not super optimized, I guess you could say. Again, I would love it if they could just utilize a way that we could maybe even just add their own tool into the game for this. You know, it doesn't even have to be an axe. They can add their own world edit tool in the game that you can set your positions for instead of having to put them in manually in the console. So there's /fill and /clone. So now I'm going to cover /setblock. This is the other one that I found. I don't really see the point of using this one. I think you can just use clone and fill, but I'll show you guys anyway. So Setblock here, and the description for this one is changes blocks to another block. Again, for me, it's honestly better just to fill because you can replace blocks. So you can use Setblock as well. I'll show you guys how it works. So let's go and do /setblock, and then it'll start to give you your positions you want. So we're going to go ahead and start off here. And this only works for 1 block, I think. I don't think it works for multiple blocks because right now it's only giving me 1 position. So again, I don't really see the point of it, but you know, I guess if you have like a 1 block, you can do it. I don't really see the point, but I'll show you guys anyway. So we'll just do the first position, 194, 64, and then -140. That's our standard position here. And then we'll do our blocks. So we'll do a sand block, since that's super easy to type. And we'll click enter, we'll click X, and then it'll change that lower left corner to a sand block. So it only changes 1 block. I don't know really what the point of that command is, but I would recommend just sticking to fill and clone for now until they add new ones. But that's the basic tutorial, guys, on how to use world edit here on console. Again, it looks a little confusing at first. You just kind of have to understand the logic of how to write the commands, but once you get the hang of it, you know, you can definitely utilize it, and it's definitely better than filling in massive spaces by hand, that's for sure. But if you're talking about just like small areas, I don't think it's that worth it. But hey, it's better than nothing. The fact that we actually have some kind of world edit feature on console is just incredible to me, because I'm pretty sure I made a video back in the day of like things that console Minecraft needs, and I didn't even include world edit on the list because I didn't even think there was a chance that it would ever be added. So the fact that we have something similar to world edit, I know it's a shell of world edit, but it's still, hey, it still works. At least it works, right? So no matter how tedious it is. But anyway, guys, that's my little tutorial here on how world edit works on Minecraft Better Together. This works on Xbox One, it works on Pocket Editions, it works on Windows 10. That's right, you can world edit on Xbox One. This video was not clickbait, guys. It wasn't. So I'm going to cover one last thing on this video, guys, and that is how many blocks you can modify at once. So I haven't really fully tested this yet, but apparently you can only modify a certain amount of blocks at once. So let's go ahead and do some testing, all right? Let's go ahead and start with this position right here, which is going to be 300. We'll do 371, 210. All right, so we'll start off with this block right here, 371, 210. So we'll have that written down. I'm going to write it down here because, you know, I want to make sure that I remember. So 371, 210, and I'm going to go way up here in the sky to get another position. And the rumor is, and I have not fully tested this, that the maximum amount of blocks you can modify at once is 32,000. So we're going to try to go over that limit and see what happens. Okay, guys, so I'm starting up here. I am currently about to set a large area to fill right now, and we're going to see if it works. So we have a pretty large space. Let's go ahead and click enter, and let's see if this works. So there it is right there. See how it says too many blocks in the specified area? I was trying to modify 800,000 blocks, and you can only modify 32,000 blocks at a time. So that may seem like a lot of blocks, but trust me, that is a small amount of blocks. So don't think that you're going to be able to copy and paste skyscrapers with this update. The best use for it is just filling in like large walls, maybe copy and pasting trees or something like that would be a decent use for it. But don't be coming out here thinking that like, oh, I'm going to be able to copy and paste all my skyscrapers from my city, you know, all over the place, because that's just way over the limit. I'm pretty sure a 32,000 block limit is actually quite small. I mean, I did a space from about right there to, I would say, maybe past the mountain, and that was about 800,000 blocks. So I'm gonna see if I can actually get an area of about 32,000. Let's see approximately how many that would be. Okay, guys, so here is 10,230 blocks modified right here. So this gives you a good sense of how much you can do with the world edit command so far on Better Together. So just imagine that right there times 3, and that's about as much as you can change at once with this thing. So again, you're not going to be able to move massive skyscrapers. At best, I would say you probably will be able to move like a decent sized house, maybe. But again, just assume like multiply that times 3, and that's about how many blocks that you can change at once. So yeah, just kind of giving you a little reference there. I'm wondering maybe in the future they will make it so you can change more blocks at once. I mean, imagining that they have a limit on it because they don't want people making massive changes and crashing the game, because that would cause all sorts of problems, especially on console. So I understand why they have a limit on it right now. I would like to see the limit upped a little bit in the future. I would like to see them add more commands in the future, but to be honest, this is a pretty good start because I didn't even expect this to be in the game. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something here about World Edit here in Better Together. And even if you didn't even know it was in the game, here it is. You can use it. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I'm gonna have more Better Together videos coming out here pretty soon, covering some of the other features as well as you know, just doing some building possibly. So we'll see what happens with that. But there is World Edit showing off, guys. It's in the game. It may not be that effective, but hey, it's in the game, and honestly, that alone is pretty amazing to me. So thank you for watching, everybody. Drop a like if you did enjoy the video, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Peace out.